Well, it's Saturday night. What time is it? I have no clue. I really don't. It looks like it's 1840. It's 6:40 p.m. for you muggles. And I think I started my day at 5:30 this morning, even though it's a Saturday. And oh my God, I was exhausted from every morning. The office has me going into the office now, which means not working from home, which is stupid because of the nature of my work. I don't really need to get in a car and add exhaust fumes to the environment, and you know, it's an environmental nightmare. It's a waste of your time driving 30 minutes one direction and 30 minutes another. An hour every day that you actually have to go into the office that you could be spending with your family or actually working. Instead, you're just sitting in a car doing jack shit. I hate it. And there's so many jobs. It's a different rabbit hole. We'll talk about that some other time. But it's, the long and short of it is there's so many of us that could do remote work. And, you know, I'd preached that for over a decade. And most people would say no, micromanage this, or I'm getting off topic. It's Saturday. This day began at 5:30 this morning, and I would have loved to have slept in and blown the day off and just chilled and relaxed, or maybe worked on the house, because I really need to do that. But instead, I went to the church where the scout group meets. We got there at 8 a.m., and we spent the day. We're going out west on June 28th. We're going to spend 4 days in the Grand Tetons. And then we're going, that's to acclimate. That's to get used to the higher altitude out there. I mean, here in Knoxville, we're probably 1,000 feet above sea level. The mountains do get up to, I guess if you're Clingman's Dome area, I think you're at 6,300 feet, something like that. I haven't looked it up in a while. But we're going to go out to about 7,000 feet and acclimate for a few days to get used to the higher altitudes. And then we're going to climb up to about 10,000 feet in the Wind River Range. So 4 days in the Grand Tetons, go explore Yellowstone, be tourist, and stuff like that. And we're going to see the Grand Prismatics. Beautiful. Love them. And then we'll climb the Wind River Range. We'll go up to about 10,000 feet. We'll be back there for 9 days in the backcountry, carrying everything we need to survive for 9 days. That's 12 people, food for 12 people, cold weather gear because it's going to be potentially 30 in the 30s and 20s in the mornings, and in the evenings it might get up at the lower 70s, I guess, maybe higher 60s, and then we're going to go. That's it. That's the trip. But we have to prepare all the food. So we spent this day, a full day. Oh, it was exhausting. Laying the food out and seeing what we've missed and what we've forgotten. Typing up the menus. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe how difficult it is. One of the lunches is a pita pocket. That's what it's called. It's a pita pocket. It's a piece of bread that you open up and you put pepperonis in. You put some olive oil in it. And you put... not olive oil, pesto, which you make with olive oil. And so it's pepperoni, pesto, pita bread. Oh, God, I'm forgetting an ingredient. Sun-dried tomatoes. It's a delicious little sandwich that's high energy. Gives you the calories you need for the hike that you're going to make that day. Type up the instructions for that. I mean, right now, it's like, okay, pita bread, put stuff in it, eat it. But when you get down to it and you're trying to make sure that you've got everything you need in that menu, so that when you get to that spot and you're exhausted and you all are sitting down drinking water that you've been purifying from a river and trying not to get sick and trying to survive and looking out for the wildlife, and you go, we have to make 12 of these sandwiches. And it's actually 24 because the sandwich counts as a half of a pita. So it's 12 pitas, 24 halves. And you're going, how do we make this? What do we need to pull out of the packs? What do we need? We need a cutting board because we're going to cut the pitas in half, and we have to be able to spread them. We need a knife. We need how many pepperonis do you put in each one? Now you can't just grab the bag and start shoving it out. Someone's going to get too much, and someone's going to get too little. So all of it has to be defined. There has to be a piece of paper that says, here's what you need to cook with, and here's what goes into the actual recipe, and this is what you're going to actually use to make your lunch. And you think, I can type this up in 5 minutes. No, don't be fooled. It might take you an hour and a half to type up such a simple task. It's a fun exercise. We did this with the Scouts once when in COVID we were like, what do we do with these meetings that we're doing virtually through Zoom, and how do we keep them interesting? And one of the meetings that we did was it was a communication exercise where we were talking about following instructions. And what I did was I asked the Scouts, I said, we've been in this meeting for a little bit. I'm getting hungry. So why don't you tell me how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich? And it was kind of fun because what I did was I took the loaf of bread. I started with nothing. I said, what do I do? And they said, well, you need some bread. And I got a loaf of bread. I stuck the loaf of bread down in front of the camera right there. And then they said, you need some peanut butter. And I went and I got the jar of peanut butter. And they said, now put the peanut butter on the bread. So I did. I took the loaf of bread and I took the jar of peanut butter and I stuck it on top of the bread. And they went, no, that's not what we said. We want you to actually spread the peanut butter on the bread. Okay, well, then you get a knife out. This gets messy. You get a knife out and you get some peanut butter. You actually spread it on top of the bread, but you haven't taken the bread out of the wrapper yet, so you get sticky peanut butter all over the wrapper. And it's stuff like that. No, take the bread out. Now you put the bread down. Now put the peanut butter on the bread. Okay, now you've got a slice of bread on the table. You haven't even put it on a plate yet. And you take the jar of peanut butter, you put it on the bread. No. Put the knife in the peanut butter. Well, you haven't opened the peanut butter yet, so you got to get to that point. And then eventually so you've opened the peanut butter. They say, put the knife in it. So what do? You put the handle of the knife in the peanut butter. And they're like, no. And then you pull it out, and then you got peanut butter all over there. So you grab the messy knife handle, and you stick it down in the peanut butter, and it just goes on and on. And they just put it on the bread. So what you do is you take the slice of bread, and on the edge you spread peanut butter. No, what are you doing? That's not how you make a peanut butter and jelly. Well, that's what you told me to do. You said put the peanut butter on the bread. And I'm like, no, put it on the side of the bread. And so when you get down to it and have to start getting granular about the way that you describe how you make this sandwich, that's what we were doing today. And it was really kind of exciting. Now I have to end this video. Ciao, baby, ciao.